disbelief on that program. Lots of bad chases. So speaking of suspending disbelief, it's like the movie Roadhouse. Why do the police only show up at the end when the movie's over? There's like 4 cops in the suits. Hey guys, where have you been the last 90 minutes? Where have you been? Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. You know, Joe, why don't we just play 90 minutes of Roadhouse and you and I will go out back and have a few beers. Oh, boy. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It is wet out there. Be careful. Not like thunder showers and inches of rain coming down. I'll say that and somebody's just getting dumped on right now. But it just does seem sort of like that, the great Northwest. Sort of Portland-ish, Seattle, Vancouver-ish type weather. Overcast, misty, and raining, just sort of continuous rain. Like, I guess if you stand outside without your, rain suit on in an hour or so, you're going to get, like, wet. Regular cotton clothing will get wet. It's just sort of damp and nasty out there. Aculio and the gang front rolling in. So temperatures, like right now, like low 60s. The Tulane student from the East Coast has on shorts, a T-shirt, and his Adidas flip-flops, you know? Anyway, rain expected today through tonight into tomorrow morning, and then really nice. Tomorrow afternoon could be sunny. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, supposed to be just clear, sunny, beautiful, gorgeous days. Starting off in the 40s every morning and rolling into the 50s, even into the 60s as we get towards midweek. So essentially, I don't know, this weather until maybe this time tomorrow-ish. Says Corey, not your meteorologist. I'm a meteorologist. I went to Mississippi State. Locally, it's like, which meteorologist didn't go to Mississippi State? And I think we have hit the, I think it's at 47.9%, Joe, gay meteorologists in the metro area. 47.8%. We're hitting that one out the park. Also, a very similar statistic of beautiful blondes with large knowledge of weather systems and the Doppler and things like that. Anyway, a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I love our local weather people. Someone's going to be mad at me for that, Joe. You know? Buddy D said it best, Joe, and I understand it more and more and more as I get older. I was a young pup in La Crosse, Wisconsin, dining with Buddy D at some lunch joint. And he just said, Corey, it doesn't matter if they're talking good or bad about you, just as long as they're talking about you. And I sat there and I was like, okay. And I was like, why would you want anyone to talk bad about you? And then I realized it isn't that. It's, you're going to say, come on down and get your gold brick. And someone's going to go, I got to carry this heavy thing that you're giving me for free? I got to carry this heavy gold brick? Yes. You have to carry the $50,000 gold brick I'm giving you. Get out of here. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. Got a good one coming up in 10 minutes. Kind of flip-flop in the pitching order. Michael Hecht, usually in the 4 slot. We want him to crank it out the park. He's going to be our leadoff guy. That's normally Fletcher McKell, I think is how you pronounce that name. What does he do? You know, Fletcher does sports at WDSU Channel 6 in town. Fletcher's he normally joins us at 4:20. He'll join us around 4:35 when Michael Hecht usually joins us. Michael Hecht will join us at 4:20. So a little flip-flop of the order. Michael Hecht in 10 minutes from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Well, I've got a bunch of topics, cutting-edge topics that you only hear on this program that are great for the city. Like reimagining Bourbon Street, revisiting the land-based casino monopoly. Joe, how can I put an emoji up that has the, question mark, exclamation point, question mark after that? Revisiting the land-based casino monopoly, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. I just don't understand that one at all. Can I get the monopoly, Joe? I want the monopoly. I want the donut shop monopoly. Anything you name, any product that is used in the United States, I'd like the local monopoly on that. Jeez and Pete's. I don't get that one at all. I don't get how someone says "Geez and Pete's" on a talk radio program at 4 something in the afternoon on a Friday. Geez and Pete's. That goes in the hey, Greg and Marcia Brady, we're staying out late. I'll see you at the pizza parlor at 8:30 instead of 8:15. Wow. Michael Hecht in 10 minutes. No, we've only got him for about 10 minutes. So reimagining Bourbon Street, casino monopoly revisited. This one's a little limited, but Joe, I love the World War II Museum, not only because of its greatness, because they were always growing, always expanding. Now they're like, we're done. Well, no, you've been building for 20 years. Keep going, please. Phase 2, they'd look at me and go, phase 2, we've got phase 7 done, dude. Wake up. But I don't want it to stop. I want it to keep growing, keep taking over parts of that area, that neighborhood. That there's lots of room in that area. There's lots of light industrial that needs to go, World War II can go in there and scoop that up. Are you kidding me? So anyway, we'll talk about that. I mean, I get it. Corey, there's only so much history in World War II. I get it. They can add more. They can do more. They can expand what they've got. Move things around, build new stuff. Okay, I'm greedy. The New Orleans East tombstone. What? I love these things, Joe. We'll talk to Michael Hecht about this. A huge multi-billion-dollar plant, $3.2 billion in Lake Charles. 173 jobs. I'm like, what? Did you say 1,773 jobs? Or 173. I don't get how you have a $3.2 billion plant in Lake Charles and it employs 173. Seriously, that's almost like, don't build the plant, okay? I mean, out-of-town construction jobs, it's sort of like a fake stimulus. You're teasing us with it. The construction folks roll in from Texas and then go back to Texas after it's done. It's probably 10% Louisiana, Lake Charles-based construction people there. And it's temporary. When the plant's finished being built, it's over with. You're done. Go find another plant to build in another state somewhere. And then it's 173 jobs. And then I'm just like, what's the, 173 jobs and the Louisiana environment? And I'm not trying to be some left-wing tree hugger, but it's true. I mean, got to weigh that out. 1,773 jobs. I'm like, all right, you're moving the needle. 173. It's like that Menhaden thing. That just blows me away. This Menhaden thing, trying to move the fishing, the line where you can fish farther out. They don't allow it in a lot of states in like Alabama, Florida. It's like Mississippi has like a limited catch. Louisiana's like, do whatever you want. Catch pelicans in your net or trout and redfish. Who cares? Seriously. And then they just dump fish and just don't care. It's 2 foreign companies. It's about 500 jobs total. I'm like, the hell with the Menhaden industry? I mean, cheese and pizza. It's not enough of a needle mover. Yet we bend over backwards for it and fight for that. Because the rich people that own it pay off politicians in Baton Rouge, and they say 500 jobs. And you don't want to be, you ever been unemployed? Yes. I want my job. That's not the point. Got to weigh things out. It doesn't work. Michael Hecht, we're hitting him up with all of that next. Don't move. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right, Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
New Orleans owned Blue Plate Mayonnaise, a New Orleans family tradition since 1927. 95 years. Some of you might be going, where's my Blue Plate Mayonnaise? Where it's always been, right there on your grocer's shelf. It's at your Rouse's, over 60 of those in the area. Blue Plate Mayonnaise, no, same legendary taste. New look, new label. You got to look for it. That old label that you used to recognize your entire life is gone. New label, same great stuff inside the jar, inside the squeeze bottle. New look, same legendary taste. Blue Plate mayonnaise. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday, a fantasy Friday. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joins us. Holy smoke, we're flipping up the rotation. You're normally our 4-hole guy. We want you to belt home runs. You're in Fletcher Mackel's leadoff spot. All we're requesting is that you get to first base, Michael.
Yeah, and what Coach told me to do is just to take one for the team, just to kind of crowd the plate and just take one.
Michael, we don't need you taking any balls to the head like Fletcher has many times, okay? So let's get you. How about pitching? You want to just pitch?
Yeah, I'll just pitch.
We've got to preserve you, Michael.
I once threw out the ball for the Zephyrs one time. That is you ever throw out a first pitch? It's a petrifying thing to do.
Well, I have, and at a Zephyr game, and you want to know what was worse about it? I don't know if you remember Joe Trahan from Fox 8, sports guy.
Sure.
He was like 6'2", about 210, was a great athlete, just like a great athlete, and probably about 10 years younger than me. We were both throwing out the first pitch. He's warming up underneath the stadium, throwing like heat. And I'm throwing this little looper that I'm just happy gets over the plate consistently, you know? So I go out there and throw I'm telling you, I buzzed it. It went off my fingers, Michael, about 56 miles an hour. And Joe's throwing like 86, 88. I'm like, all right. I mean, his made a noise when it hit the catcher's mitt. Mine made no noise.
Yours was a kind of a library toss, right? Don't wake up the kids. It's a little. Yours was the second grade, T-ball, party, underhand. That's all right.
Yeah.
But did you get it there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would have been belted out the park. It was a strike. Just not the velocity of Joe Trahan's ball. Hey, Michael, you ready for rapid fire? We've got like 10 minutes.
Let's do this and let's hit. I'm gonna have my coffee. What do they say? I'm tan and rested. What did Bobby Jindal say? All right, let's do this.
That sounds right. No, he said he's a gym rat. Oh wow, all 118 pounds of him. Better get that towel soaking wet to get the scales moving up, Bobby. Jeez. A gym rat. All right, Michael, you asked for it. I asked you topics, and you reply back, dealer's choice. So aces are high, jokers wild. You asked for it, you're getting it.
Let's do it, kid.
All right. I'm going to start with the bad first. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but it just seems ridiculous. Huge multi-billion-dollar plan in Lake Charles, $3.2 billion. 173 jobs, not 1,773, 173. How do you build a $3.2 billion plant and it's 173 jobs? I don't know if the scales weigh in Louisiana's advantage with this when you talk about the environment, all of that. I mean, 3.2 billion, it better be a couple of thousand jobs. 173? I mean, you guys talked about a $42 million tire recycling plant, Michael, out in the East. That's going to have 173 jobs. 42 million, 173 jobs, 3.2 billion. It better be 2,000 jobs. These things, I don't know if it weighs out to our advantage.
Well, I think it's a fair point, Corey, but the other question is, what's the tax structure going to be on the $3-4 billion, right? Because if they're going to end up over time paying tons of property tax, of ad valorem tax, then it weighs out in terms of tax revenue, if not in terms of, employment and revenues that come from employment. So I think that's kind of the question is, okay, so there's really not a jobs benefit to this relative to the scale, but what's it going to do for us in terms of tax impact? Right to the local parish and the state.
But that's probably like a decade away, though, right? Because it'll gradually move in until we get the plan up and running. We're not paying taxes and all that.
If they've got ITEP or if they've got a pilot, right, then they're not getting up front. So, that's kind of. But again, modeling this stuff out ain't hard, right? You just say, look, what is this thing going to pay? Over time when it comes online. But once it's built, it's not going away. So it's reasonably certain. And then you can make a decision about the net present value. Is it worth it? But no, what's one of the challenges with these big industrial projects is you want to make sure there's actually job creation and that the property taxes make sense over time. And it is one of the big differences between these big industrial facilities and, white collar tech jobs, which have almost no, capital investment, but you got people making averages of, I was talking to Stephen Morey, who brought an Amazon HQ2 to Alexandria. Now, again, he didn't, it was going to go there anyway, and he just closed the deal. And they've had some problems because they're in tech right now, but their average salary is like $250,000.
How many people are they employing in Alexandria with Amazon?
I don't know what that number is right now. They were supposed to be, it was supposed to be like 25,000, right? But they're way down on that one because the tech industry is in a slump right now. But I'm gonna use the interwebs and find that out through while we're talking.
Is that where are they located? At the old air park in Alexandria?
No, they're in like Crystal City, I think.
Huh. Wow.
Right across the river.
Gotcha. Okay. Is Crystal City the old air park where the old naval facility was, or the Air Force facility, whatever it was?
It might. It's right across. It's literally right across.
Yeah, I think that might be the thing. That's like where they're trying to, or they've been trying for the last few decades to get industry going. All right, you ready for more rapid fire? Really rapid fire. These are kind of common questions I throw out to you every, year or so. Reimagining Bourbon Street. Let's get going on this. Let's phase out the strip joints and the, big ass beer and daiquiri shops and, all of that, all these cash businesses and the $18 a head, somebody driving in with their girlfriend, walking up and down the street and leaving. And let's make it a compliment to Royal Street and light it up and jazz clubs and real first-class New Orleans. Let's make Bourbon Street, Michael, a place locals would like to go to, not totally avoid. Bourbon Street is a toilet. Thank you. Good night.
I agree. And I think the issue, and this is kind of something we talked about with the governor, is that it's pretty clear over time there aren't enough voters in the French Quarter for it to be politically attractive for a local politician to take this on, a mayor or a council member, right? If you're the council member for that district, you care about Algiers. If you're the mayor, you care about anywhere else. That's not a critique. That's an observation, right? And so, by the way, Amazon Virginia, 36,000 employees right now, average salary above $200,000.
Oh, you were talking Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Alexandria, Louisiana had this.
No, sir.
No, God. When you said Morey, I was thinking back in those days. What, Morey runs economic development in Virginia now?
He did. He used to. Now it's Jason Lacubi.
Oh, I was saying the air park in Alexandria, Louisiana. And when I was saying how many jobs, when I was going to, Michael, it's probably 12 jobs. Like, that's what I was going to say.
You know what? They honestly, we actually probably should not. We probably shouldn't be on the radio together. This is going terribly. This is not working well. The deal with Bourbon Street in the French Quarter is, I have said this to the governor. I think we're beginning to see some of the troop NOLA. It's going to take somebody who is not politically incentivized by New Orleans to fix that up, because the incentives are not there for local leadership. That just seems to be the case, right?
I think everything you're saying are really valid points that I don't think a lot of folks would just naturally think about.
No, you wouldn't. It's kind of, it's not obvious, but at the end of the day,
that's what stifles it and bogs it down. No, we need maybe the NOLA coalition to get on this one. All right, moving on. Casino monopoly revisited. The land-based casino monopoly. It's just pointless. I don't get it. I'd like to have, you name any industry. It could be scissors, loose leaf paper. Well, maybe not loose leaf paper. How about printing paper? I'll take any monopoly available of any product for New Orleans. I just don't understand why we do that. I don't get it. And now we're so many decades in. Doesn't make sense.
It was done before for political reasons. I think I agree with you that I actually think that introduced the right way, competition would actually be good for Caesars and Harrah's. It gives you some agglomeration. It would kind of add some density. It makes it more attractive for people to come there. There already is a little bit of that going on between the Four Seasons and Caesars. They refer people back and forth. They've got some nice restaurants that are going to be going in the new facility to give an option for the folks at the Four Seasons. So yeah, it's beginning to go in that direction. I think that it should. I mean, if I had to, focus on one or two things, I'd focus on fixing up the French Quarter by the time we get to the Super Bowl is the first thing. I think that's, job number 1, 2, and 3 for us. But no, you're right about the casino.
Hey, Michael, literally about 20 seconds. I know why it's over. I get it. But why is the World War II Museum done? Keep growing. Don't stop. I've been enjoying the growth since it started. This is like a 20-year growth thing, and it's incredible. I don't want him to stop growing. Keep growing.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's done for now. I don't know why. I don't know why it would necessarily, need to stop them, and it's landlocked. But it's such a great addition to the city because it broadens our appeal. It's more than just Bourbon Street. It talks about our history of innovation, about how New Orleans saved the free world, and so I think it'll keep growing. It's really beautiful, and the Freedom Pavilion is just gorgeous.
It's so first class. It's Smithsonian-like. It's world class. We've got it. Yeah, I just, I get it. I mean, there's only so much history, but you can always expand and go into more detail in another building.
Well, maybe we'll do the next building for World War III, Corey.
Oh, boy. I hope not. Jeesh. That was Michael Hecht trying to lay that on me. I'm a positive person, Michael. Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon.
Man, oh, man.
Thanks for coming on the program. See you in a week. Thanks, Miguel.
Have a great weekend, my friend. Appreciate you.
You too. That's Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. We will do it in a week. Didn't even get to touch on Mardi Gras, but he'll know those economic impact numbers in about a week. It is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You decide. Fletcher Mackle joins us next.
When you They rank the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers. Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I think we're heading to Baton Rouge, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to tell him.
The LSU baseball Tigers, I believe, are getting their season going. I think that's where Fletcher Mackel is. Let's see. Fletcher, you up at the box in Baton Rouge?
I am standing right in front of the box. Corey, I had to step outside to do live shots, and so I'm listening to the game right now. But yes, I am here at the stadium because I've been going live in front of the stadium, and since the game is happening, I can't go live inside.
Wow, they start that early, like 4 o'clock on a Friday now?
They started at 2 o'clock. It's crazy.
Why?
That's what it blew me away. And they said the reason why is
weather.
The weather, yeah. And so Jay Johnson wanted to make sure that his team played. He said they got 4 games to open up: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. In the first today and tomorrow, they're playing early games because he said he felt like it gave them a better chance to make sure that they got them in. Like, I guess even if there's a delay, they'll finish their game.
Yep.
Which he goes, hate to be selfish, but they're coming here to play us. We're going to make sure we get our games in. So, yeah. So I thought it was weird, to be honest with you. You open defense of a national championship at 2 o'clock on a Friday. I mean, I thought at least 6:30 or 7 in this place would have been, you went to LSU raucous and loud and people partying, but 2 o'clock first pitch it was.
Yeah, that's got to take a little air out of the balloon, just like a night game at Tiger Stadium football compared to one at 11 a.m. or something.
Right. And let me add this real quick, a little more context for you. One, it is a sellout. It's packed to the gills because it's LSU baseball, defending national champs. But the weather sucks. It's been misty. Yep. It's getting cold here. So not only is it 2 o'clock Friday start, but it is the least baseball weather you could find for a baseball game.
But still 10,000 strong in that facility.
I'm not kidding. When Alvin Moore, the photographer that I work with, our sports photographer, pulled up, he laughed and he was like, "Dude, this is crazy." I mean, literally, it feels like a super regional. People parking across the street by walk-ons, like it's packed to the gills here right now.
That is unbelievable. It really is. It's such a it's I guess Mulkey's making it interesting. Which sport's number 2 now, but baseball was clearly number 2. It was football, baseball, and everywhere else, Fletch, it's football, men's basketball, most places.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I always tell people, look, I love baseball. I played college baseball. I still love baseball. Baseball is a niche sport. It's like lacrosse. Lacrosse is king on the East Coast. Soccer is awesome on the West Coast. Baseball in the Deep South is a huge deal. And there's like 4 cathedrals to college baseball. And this is, if not number 1, then one of them. But this is a total anomaly in the college sports landscape. Because you're right. Every place else, the primo sports are football, men's basketball, and then maybe depending on what your next program is, women's basketball. Baseball for most places is way down the totem pole, except here, and you're right, what Tim Mulkey's done is obviously elevated the women's basketball team, but for a generation, baseball and their 7 national championships was clearly the number 2 sport, and still is. I mean, they call it the powerhouse for a reason, but I tell everybody here that, people are kind of warped. I have friends like on the West Coast. You go to a Division I college baseball game at Long Beach State, and there's 50 people in the stands, and half of them are playing Frisbee. And you come here, and there's 10,000 people living and dying with every pitch.
Fletcher Mackel, another Friday with Fletch, joining us from Alec Box Stadium on the campus of Louisiana State University, an agricultural and mechanical college Tiger baseball. Speaking of, what's this team looking like for this year? Where are they ranked, by the way?
Preseason number 2. Wake Forest is number 1. Former UNO.
Oh, no, I saw that. How is LSU 2 nationally, yet behind Arkansas? I think Arkansas was 4th, and I think Florida nationally was ahead of Arkansas. But the coaches nationally have LSU number 2. The coaches in the SEC have LSU behind Arkansas, and the coaches nationally have Arkansas behind LSU and Florida. Isn't that right?
Yeah. And look, I'll say this.
It's all preseason.
We're talking semantics here. It's kind of like when they come up with the college football polls before anybody played anybody. It's like, well, Alabama's good, we know that. Michigan's good, and we know that. And Ohio State's pretty good, and we know that. So, look, Wake Forest last year, played LSU and then got the best pitcher in the portal from Tennessee. And Tom Walter's program should be right there again. LSU lost the 2 best players in college baseball in Skeens and Cruz, but they still have a great team and a great recruiting class. And so I think people think they'll be there. Florida, more than Arkansas, to me, is the one that probably should be above LSU, given the fact that Florida played for the national championship last year. They bring back the favorite in Castellone to win the 2-way player, to win the Golden Spikes Award. So, to me, again, but it's a fact. Arkansas is really good too. All these teams are good. Where you have them stacked up 1, 2, 3, or 4, it's probably an eye of the beholder type situation. But LSU, probably at number 2 or 3, is probably where they belong, either right behind Wake or right behind Wake and Florida. But look, here's the thing: you think they're going to be good, but you just don't know. Look, you realize this right now. They were just life and death with VMI, the Virginia Military Institute, that has never been to an NCAA postseason, just gave this team all it could handle. It was tied in the 5th inning, 6-6. LSU just broke it open a little bit to make it 10-6. But nonetheless, that's not a great start when you schedule kind of the patsy to open your season, and the patsy's all of a sudden giving you all you can handle. Do I think LSU is crazy talented? Yes. But again,
did they throw their number 2 pitcher tonight? Maybe not.
No, LSU. Thatcher Hurd, who closed last season red hot, he pitched the decisive game against Florida. He was on the mound to start when LSU won it all, and he struggled today. I mean, it's one of those things. It could be first game jitters.
Oh, so they did. They had their best pitcher up. I figured they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, and they had I'll give, VMI is scrappy. It's a small military school. The fact that they hung with them this long is commendable, because I think a lot of people thought this is going to be a mercy rule game. Baseball has the mercy rule now, where 10 runs after 7 and they call it. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be it. But again, I think LSU is going to be good. It's kind of like this. Tim Mulkey's team, to me, is going to end up in Cleveland in the Final Four. They're too talented not to get there. Have they had some stumbles along the way this year? Yeah. But at the end of the day, they are so embarrassingly talented. It's hard to envision them not making it. I'm not saying they're going to win the national championship, but I think they're going to get to the Final Four. It's hard to envision LSU not being one of the 8 best teams in Omaha. I'm not saying they're going to repeat as national champs, but when you look at the talent on the field here, they're going to just be at a talent advantage in almost every game they play, except for a few SEC games.
Fletcher Mackel's with us for just a couple of more minutes, 2 more minutes. That gives us a minute for each topic. That Super Bowl is about as good as it gets, huh? I mean, 5 full quarters of football, obviously down to the wire with the overtime. Pat Mahomes just Fletch, he's already, top 2-3 quarterback of all time. It's already a Hall of Famer. I've never seen anything like that guy.
I would say he's top 5 easy. You realize his stats are the same as Joe Montana's right now. And so from a championship perspective, and he's 28 years old. You're right.
He doesn't have 4 Super Bowl championships.
Well, I think Montana has 3, right?
No, Montana's got 4 and 3 MVPs. Okay. 3 MVPs. They both have the same number of MVPs, I guess.
Sorry. I thought Montana had 3, not 4. Sorry. Yep. So, okay, he's one off of Montana, who most people thought was the most successful Super Bowl quarterback until Brady. So, yeah, I would say that he is. It's just he's the new GOAT. One guy left, and he was the greatest of all time, and we have another generational talent and dynasty team right behind the Patriots and Brady.
Yeah, no, it's true. I don't know if that's just a natural thing. You could look at any sport, Michael Jordan or LeBron James, whatever, but I agree with that 100%. What do you think of these Saints hires?
It's fine. Look, here's the thing. I never get too high. I always tell you this. After the draft with hires, I wait to see, the proof is in the pudding, so to say. On paper, it looks like fantastic hire. He's got all the credentials. He comes from the right tree of offensive coaches, Clint Kubiak and the guys he's hiring. I like the hires. But that doesn't mean it's going to work out like everybody envisions it to. Look, Sean Payton. Doug Marrone left the Sean Payton tree. He didn't turn Buffalo or Jacksonville's offense into anything amazing. Joe Lombardi left. He didn't turn Detroit's offense into anything special. So, again, sometimes it's about the players, not the coaches. But right. I like the hires. They made the right hires on paper. I'll give them that. Now, can they turn it into results?
Yep. Fletch, I'm bummed out. We're out of time. I wanted to talk about your electric bike and the old diesel Mercedes. We'll have to do it next week.
Sorry, Corey. I do have a job that pays me, so I've got to get back to this one. But maybe next week.
Yep. Hey, you folks.
Next week, I'm wide open.
Don't go to Channel 6 and watch his live shot coming up. Thanks, Fletch.
All right.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLA AC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLA AC.com, your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Fantasy Friday. Corey Johnson back at you. A little wet out there. Coolio and the gang front rolling in. You heard Fletcher McKell in Baton Rouge live at Alec Box Stadium join us. He said it's not only rainy and misty like it is here all day. He goes, it's getting colder, but there's still 10,000 at Alec Box. No, we're going to have temperatures drop as the rain continues. When you wake up in the morning, it'll be like low 50s. And I don't think it's moving too much out of that tomorrow, like sort of 50s. Now, what's good, I think maybe in about 24 hours, this time mañana, the rains will have gone bye-bye, and then it's going to just be sunshine and 40s and 50s really up until like Wednesday. Might warm up a little bit Tuesday and Wednesday, but lots of 40s and 50s and sunshine starting maybe tomorrow afternoon. Sunday looks gorgeous, cold. Monday, gorgeous, cold. Tuesday, gorgeous, cold. Wednesday, warming up a little, but gorgeous still. So that's nice. We'll take it. Anyway, so yeah, we have to deal with this tonight. It's going to be a wet Friday night, probably Saturday morning, maybe a little after lunch tomorrow. The rain goes away. And then nice for a bunch of days in a row. Michael Hecht joined us a few minutes ago. Fletcher Mackel joined us as well. Always Fantasy Friday, you know, the real essence of why I came up with that name. Kind of talk about topics that are in other cities, other states, it's sort of normal or modern and futuristic, but it's there and it's in place, it's built, it's working. And then when you say, why don't we have that here in Louisiana, folks go, you're talking fantasy, like you where you living? Oh, wow, a highway with more lanes or a new bridge or a Microsoft, white collar jobs in the CBD. Why is that just fantasy? Why can't we have that? I mean, one day New Orleans is going to turn the corner. One day there's going to be positive things happening because of what we're doing beyond our control. Momentum's going to build, and I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to happen, but inevitably it will. There's going to be people that are tired of Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, tired of Austin and Nashville, where they're literally going to say, yes, you can go there and make money, but it's crowded, it's trafficky, it's all brand new. There's no culture, there's no history. And I don't know when this is going to be, next year, a decade from now, 50 years from now. People change, things change. We go through different modes, and New Orleans maybe will become popular again. But I'd like to kind of move the needle and get things started. And I mentioned to Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc., and this is so Fantasy Friday, reimagining Bourbon Street. Most people I bring this topic up to, they're in agreement, but they're just like, Corey, you're crazy. It's always been that way. The typical New Orleans and Louisiana response. It's always been that way. Well, it'll always be that way if you just continue to think that way. You know? But if you go in another direction, hey, I'm not going to drink Coca-Cola anymore. I'm not going to drink beer, but on weekends. I'm going to limit it to light beer. I'm going to not eat bread. I'm going to start exercise. Whatever it is you do, it's the same thing. Reimagining yourself. Reimagine Bourbon Street. Imagine Bourbon Street as a street where locals would actually want to go. There are no locals anywhere. None of us say, let's go down to Bourbon Street, ever. Never. If you have people that come in from out of town and there's one person in the group, can we go to Bourbon Street? Can we go to Bourbon Street? You're like kind of bummed out. Yeah, dude, we're going to go. We're going to walk up and down it once, and then we're gone so you can say you went there. But no one wants to go to Bourbon Street locally because it is a toilet. It's worthless. It doesn't generate money for the city. I mean, walk down Bourbon Street and look at folks walking up and down the street. Do you sit there and go, wow, these are people with lots of disposable income and they're spending a lot of money in the city? Boy, I bet they were at Commanders before this. They were at the NOMA Museum. They went to World War II. No, they pulled up in their pickup and they walked 3 blocks from the parking lot. They bought a big-ass beer or a daiquiri. They walk up and down the street for a few hours. They get in their truck and they go home. That's it. Black, white. You know, I'm not saying poor folks. It just isn't the demographic you're looking for economically. I mean, if you think I'm being racist, you're insane. Bourbon Street is a gumbo of people. So I want that group out and a new group in. Groups that have deep pockets, money, where we'd want it. We don't want to go down to big-ass beer and strip joints and, daiquiri shops and people urinating on the side of a historic building or people just drunk walking around. And, we don't want, no one locally wants to go down to Bourbon Street for a reason because it's terrible. So that's a great Fantasy Friday topic. We broached that with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. The casino land-based monopoly, me no comprende. I just don't get it. I'll take any monopoly. Well, the city of New Orleans, are they offering any monopoly on anything? Jeez, could you imagine if we just got rid of the land-based casino monopoly? We wouldn't become Biloxi. There wouldn't be a dozen casinos. There'd be 2 or 3 others, though. And there'd be like billion-dollar facilities they'd build to compete against Harrah's, Caesars. You might get Wynn, you might get MGM Grand, whatever. They'd build billion-dollar plus facilities. Be 1,000-room hotels, big gaming floors, all kind of entertainment, restaurants and the like, jobs. It wouldn't be a dozen, but it would be 2 or 3. Caesars wouldn't be by itself. And it just doesn't make sense that we have that monopoly. We're decades in. There's no need for it. What's that, Blue Boy? You'd like to have the Caesars Harrah's casino monopoly? You'd take the dog food monopoly. You'd take any monopoly. I got you, buddy. I'm with you. What else? 5 o'clock powwow and X don't move. Thanks, Blue Boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSAgency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. Then we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got.
Essentially, Joe and I got lazy, and during the top of the hour break, we're like, dude, it's Friday. You want to just call it a day? And Joe said yes, which I was expecting. And that made it easy for me to say yes. And we're going to just pipe in a couple of Cheers reruns for your enjoyment. We're going back about 40 years ago. Back-to-back Cheers episodes coming your way. It's Sam and the gang at Cheers. Norm, all of that coming your way. Cheers next on a Friday. See you Monday, everyone. There he is, number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. I went to the kebab house last night, like vets at Homa Boulevard, Joe. Small sliders by the Target. Vets at Clearview. Slam, dude. They're pulling like $20K a day right now. They're pulling like $20,000 a day.
I had forgotten it was a slider joint. I thought it was like a mini storage.
It's a couple of containers stacked on top. I mean, they build it out probably. They just bring it on a truck, and it's got the kitchen and everything, the doors painted, ready to go. You know, it's probably a plug and play, easy construction, smart as hell. No,
I never saw it going up. It just was up one day.
And then, you know what's so great about it, too? They sort of, like, just from the photo, they've, like, reinvented the slider. Like, it's a mini hamburger is what it is. Where you're like, Corey, that's what Crystal Burger. And no, Crystal Burger is a little square. You know, you can't use our system, what the imperial system. You used to use the metric system because I'd be saying like 1/8 of an inch thick. It's easier with millimeters. It's this little nasty little burger that's like an ounce of meat. It's nothing. It's like 2 ounces of meat tops. I don't even think 2-ounce patty. Seriously. It's just the little hamburger patty you get like at McDonald's or Burger King is like 3 times as thick. And that thing's like a piece of loose leaf paper. So the Crystal Burger and Castle Burger, I swear, it's just like minimum amount of meat where we could legally call it a burger. It's just like it's barely there. The whatever sliders, small sliders, it's a little thicker and it looks like a little mini burger. So it does look edible, and they use the fries like Chick-fil-A, the waffle fry, just to be different. I think that was a smart call. They've got shakes, and it's very limited. I don't think you get lettuce or tomato. It's like Raising Cane's. We do it our way, that's it. You know? I would have been one of the 9 banks that turned the Raising Cane's dude down. Dude, you need more items. Grilled for women, da-da-da, you know? Get some onion rings, da-da-da. He's worth $7 billion. They're like 700 Raising Cane's. It works. You were wrong, Corey, with the 9 banks or whatever the story is. No, I'm shocked at small sliders. I drove by and I was like, Corey, you're the minority. How do you do a talk radio program and TV program? You're not like everybody else. You're sitting there going, who's going to go? I can't believe it's small side. You know, boom, look at it. Just, I'm not saying I didn't think it was going to work. I knew it would work. I didn't think there would be 50 cars in the drive-through line every time I've driven by there. It is like a Chick-fil-A.
I wonder how much of that is Drew Brees worship around here and how much of that is just wanting to check out the new thing.
Well, that's a great point, Joe. That's a great point. The Drew Brees, I think the Drew Brees worship can only go so far. I mean, otherwise the Jimmy Johns would just be kicking butt and taking names to endless, success and profitability. I'm not saying Jimmy Johns aren't successful. I just think they're not like, there's not a line and they're not just like, they slaughter it. And there's that Jimmy Johns next to Kebab House where I went last night. And it was just sort of regular business. But the small sliders is like beating Chick-fil-A right now, literally. They have police out there, cones. Like, we didn't anticipate this. It's like double line going into the single line at the end. It's just, it's got to be like a 30-minute wait. It's just, and it was like 50 cars. I'm telling you, they're doing like $15,000, $20,000 a day. There are sit-down fine dining restaurants that don't do $20,000 a day. Just do that out over, a week. What's $20,000 a day? It's 100, you want to call it 130, 140, 150 a week? What's that, $600K a month? Small side is not doing 8 million this year, 7 million, but they can't keep that pace up. But right now, I guarantee you they're doing north of 15,000, probably around $20,000 a day. It's crazy. Just to give you a general idea, a McDonald's that does pretty well, they might do 7,000-8,000 a day. Raising Cane's, they do in the teens, might do 12, 13, 14, 15. Chick-fil-A, high teens. Some go north of 20 a day. It's insane money. Small sliders right now, at least that one on Clearview and Vets is slaughtering it like, I don't know if there's a, fast food barometer in America, but this one's near the top as far as making money and number of customers and all of that. I saw one, Joe. I think there's one in Slidell. I'm wondering if they're doing that kind of business. I know Troy Henry's got the rights to like 4 in New Orleans, so more are coming. Yeah, they're going to be everywhere. Small sliders are going to be everywhere. It's just like Chick-fil-A. It is a craze, a passion. I think you're right, though. Chick-fil-A has that conservative slant where, they're closed on Sunday, Southern Baptist, evangelical, conservative, religious folks love Chick-fil-A. And I think that locally might be that like Drew Brees worship, at least initially. And Brees is at the window. He's smart. He's wearing the, small sliders polo and handing out burgers at the window when they cut the ribbon that day. That was smart. That's like your Raising Cane's guy up in, when they opened the one in New York, Times Square.
Well, they are opening a lot. You see some in Tyler, Texas, New Braunfels, Texas, Lubbock, Texas. There's 20, 30 on their website.
Small sliders?
Soon.
Small sliders.
In Louisiana, you've got at least 10. Mississippi, you've got 3. Missouri, 2. South Carolina, 1. Texas, 6.
And Texas is going to be 60. 60. They're going to see the 6 and they're going to just go crazy. I don't think there's any dining in. I think it's sort of like that Chick-fil-A on Tulane and Carrollton, walk up and order or drive up only. And there might be some outdoor seating maybe. I'm just buzzing by on Clearview and Vets when I'm there. I haven't been yet. Anyway, I probably won't go for about 7 months till it dies down. Joe, I like a good burger. I went to Shake Shack all excited. I was like, it's like Five Guys, it's on Atomic Burger. I got to give that another try. People are telling me, dude, don't compare Five Guys and Shake Shack with Atomic Burger. Atomic Burger is better than Five Guys and Shake Shack. So I'm going to go give that another try on Vets. But I've tried them and I was just like, I was kind of bummed, to be honest. I was just like, okay, I'm just drudging through a mediocre burger now, coupled with it's not great. Like can't wait to come back. I wanted that, Port of call's a pain, and it's like, it's broad daylight. Why is it like 2 a.m. in here? It's so dark. Like we're trying to keep it like a 2 a.m. setting 24/7. No, I like a Port of call burger and a baked potato, but it's just not convenient, It's not inconvenient, but I got to go down to the quarters. Anyway, I'm always looking for a good burger. Hard to find a good burger. It's like fried shrimp, jambalaya, etouffee. Most places don't do it right. I went and got fried shrimp the other day at a place that I was expecting to be very, very good. Right when I opened, now it was to go. And you go, Corey, the to-go container is going to ruin the shrimp. It came right out of the kitchen. I popped the to-go container open right when they handed it to me to let the steam out so the fried product wouldn't get soggy. Right away, it was just a soggy product, and it was piping hot. I could see the, batter coming off the shrimp. When the batter is not part of the shrimp, like it can't come off. You can't peel it off. Oh, I got to the shrimp. It is hooked into the shrimp. Then you've got good fried shrimp. When the batter can come off and you can have the shrimp's naked under there. That's not a good fried shrimp. No, most people butcher fried shrimp, etouffee, jambalaya, a good burger. It's just hard to find. Sad. But then again, I admit I'm a picky food eater. I mean, we live in New Orleans. Food capital of the world. Why should I settle? Why should I settle? Anyway, Joe, I, by the way, wanted to know, I own 6 small slider locations. It's Fantasy Friday. I can pretend, Joe. Man, if you own, Troy Henry's going to open 4. Troy Henry, that's why Troy Henry's not rich. He's wealthy because he's got many things like that. Like you and I, Joe, we'd be like, dude, all we need, you and I could be partners on 4 small sliders. And if they're performing like Clearview and Vets, we wouldn't have to open another one.
Well, you literally can't. Louisiana is the only territory sold out of franchising options.
I bet. That's amazing. No, it's the Walk-On Drew Brees group. Smalls Sliders. Not a proud sponsor of this program. But like Krispy Kreme donuts delivering to news stations and, radio stations, we talk about them. They get free ads.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Hi, everyone. It's Tommy Wrong for AsbestosMoneyGrab.com. This is not, I repeat, not for folks with real asbestos problems. But if you're like me and were maybe taking a shop class in high school where you maybe breathed in some brake dust and you know for certain you're fine, but you're the type of person that takes advantage of these types of situations, get tested, lawyer up, and steal some money like me. Go to I'm not really hurt at all, but like exploiting the system for free cash.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Guess who's joining us in 60 seconds? Frank Brightson from his restaurant in the Riverbend. right off River Road, I guess in New Orleans, Leek Avenue. He's on Dante. They have the Dante shopping center right there on Leek Avenue. So there's all that parking. You know, it works out perfectly. The shopping center, all the stuff there, the Oryx store, Talbot's or whatever it is, Balance, the ladies' dress shop, all that. They're shutting down at 5 o'clock, right when Brightson's open. So all the parking available, brightly lit up, really easy to get to. You know, you folks in like Old Jefferson, Old Metairie, Brightson's is 5 minutes from where Causeway hits River Road. So if you're in Old Jefferson or Old Metairie or New Metairie, however long it takes you to get to Causeway and River Road, you're literally less than 5 minutes from Brightson's. You go right down River Road, cross over the tracks at Oak Street, stay on River Road, Leek Avenue in New Orleans. You'll see the Dante Village Shopping Center right behind it, behind the Balance little dress shop. A Creole cottage about 100 years old. For nearly 40, it's been Brightson's restaurant. And the James Beard award-winning chef is such a humble, nice guy. He joins me on the program every Friday around 5:20 to talk food. How you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great, Corey. Where you at? TGIF.
Yep, thank goodness, huh?
First Friday in Lent.
Boy, what a weird week. Super Bowl, Mardi Gras, Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday. It's just a lot of stuff going on.
Boy, you're right about that.
We needed it to be a short week.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it is for us. We took a 4-day holiday for Mardi Gras, and everybody came back yesterday refreshed and ready to charge into the weekend, and it's already the weekend.
Yep. We are a Catholic city. It is Lent. Let's talk about that filet you got on the menu. All right, seriously, let's talk about. We can talk about that because that is a great dish. But it is Lent, and that means seafood. Also, Frank, I don't want to forget about crawfish season. Very pricey, and I see local strawberries everywhere. We'll talk about that, but let's talk about Lent first and seafood and what all that means to you and Brightson's.
Well, the one thing that's a Brightson's tradition is we change our gumbo for Lent.
You change your what for Lent?
We change our gumbo.
Oh, okay.
So instead of the filet gumbo with chicken andouille, starting tonight, we're serving a Lenten seafood gumbo. It's a seafood okra gumbo. There's no meat or sausage, and it's made with okra, of course, shrimp stock, gumbo crabs, oyster liquor, and served with freshly cooked shrimp and oysters.
That's oyster liquor, Liqueur, not Licker.
Yeah, exactly. Oyster water. When we get in gallons of shucked oysters, we strain off all that good juice, and that goes into the gumbo, and that's really adds a lot of body, flavor, brininess.
Yep.
So that combination of sweet shrimp stock and the briny oyster water, and then the richness from the gumbo crabs, creates a lovely, lovely broth.
Frank, that it's funny because the other gumbo is like so anti-Lent. The Paul Prudhomme's on Dewey. That's just like, and then it's chicken too.
Exactly, and we love it.
It's
we serve
incredible.
it most of the year, the exception being Lent.
Yep.
And then also around June is when local okra really is plentiful, and we'll start doing seafood gumbos again then. You have okra and Creole tomatoes come out about the same time. And I don't think it's a coincidence that when you see okra dishes, there's usually some tomato involved.
Now, for you, Lent is just the Catholic definition, but even then, I mean, I've got some Catholic friends that they say if it's on 4 feet, and then if it's like got a hoofed foot, like a pig, or so they'll eat chicken, I guess is what they're saying, or duck, because it's not a hoofed foot. or something like that?
Sounds like a lot of malarkey to me.
Well, I mean, you remember the Archbishop had to rule on alligator.
That's right, and he ruled it does qualify as seafood.
Wow!
I remember seeing that proclamation that he made.
That's so
and some Catholics will give up meat entirely, and then some only give it up on Fridays. But we just want to accommodate that need, and it's fun to change things up too. And of course, we always have tons of beautiful seafood dishes on a regular menu, so not a lot changes. I'm waiting to see what fish comes in over the next few weeks. It's a little limited right now, but we're getting what we need. Beautiful flounder fillets. There was just a little bit available, so I got what I need for the weekend.
Nice.
Pan-fried flounder with roasted pecans and Meunier sauce.
So good.
Sheep's head is available, which I love, and that's our broiled fish with crab meat crust and a lemon crab sauce. So that's good. And the tuna is always good this time of year, February, March. It's available year-round, but February and March is when it's most plentiful and seems to be at its highest quality. So blackened tuna with smoked corn sauce and a chipotle black bean salsa. Always a good choice at Brightson's.
Hey, Frank, let's talk about crawfish. The drought really just crushing the industry. Crawfish are popping up. They're pretty pricey. Could be like double, even 3 times the prices in the teens. $15 a pound instead of $5 a pound.
Right.
How does that affect you and the dishes you make? Because the crawfish egg rolls. I mean, what were those, like about $15? Something like that?
It's going to have a...
What are you going to make them, $45 appetizer? You can't do it.
Well, I'm waiting to see if they're going to peel any crawfish at all. That's the question for me, because of a limited supply. And, it may not make economic sense for the crawfish processors to peel.
Wow.
Now, that may hopefully change by late March or sometime in March. It's probably when we're going to see that. April is peak crawfish season in terms of size and availability. So I'm hoping that changes. I love to use crawfish tails in the restaurant because it's so easy and delicious.
Yep.
You get the peel tails with the crawfish fat, and they're just wonderful in particularly butter sauces because that fat enriches the sauce. And also things like our crawfish and corn soup.
Wow.
So I'm just hoping that we get some. Even a short run would make me happy.
Now, is it going to just be a lesser supply and more expensive, or will size be affected as well because of the drought?
No, I don't think size will be a huge problem. A crawfish will grow from an egg to full size in 3 months. So that's why I think by March we may see what's really happening. But for them to peel, they have to be a certain size to make sense for them.
Yep.
You need to have a crawfish that's big enough where you're getting 8 pounds of whole crawfish to make 1 pound of peeled. If it takes 10 pounds, it's not economically feasible.
Wow. Now, last crawfish season, 3 dishes. I mentioned it before in the program. 2 of them were at your place. The crawfish and corn soup was just incredible. One of the best soups I've ever eaten in my life, and I hope that comes back. And the crawfish egg roll is outstanding. But even something that jumped out even more was I mentioned this last hour with Joe, my producer. We were talking about on the air. Crawfish etouffee, jambalaya, fried shrimp. I was even talking about hamburgers. I'm like, most places mess these things up. Most places, they're not good. And your crawfish etouffee, it just brown, not orange, kind of reminded me of old over there on not Ugalsich's, Mandich.
Mandich, yes, indeed.
And then I went, so three of your dishes, the egg roll, the soup, and the crawfish etouffee, where it was an appetizer. And I went and I came back a few nights later and got 2 of them for an entree. It was that good.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping we see that.
Bummer.
You know, and we're also at the time of year when crab meat is really hard to get. They're just not catching a lot of crabs. In the cold weather, the water's cold and the crabs kind of burrow in the mud and don't move around a lot, so they don't get caught. So, you know, we're kind of in a tough phase right now in terms of those 2 items, crawfish and crab. So we got to be flexible and roll with what's good, you know, finfish, oysters. We use a lot of scallops, which are beautiful. And, you know, you just got to go with what you got. I'm not going to shortcut. I'm not going to buy, you know, something that I don't think is top quality.
Frank Brightson's with us on the program. Frank, it's funny as I'm getting older. I mean, it's a good thing there weren't, you know, the cell phones of today with the phone and everything when I was younger, because I guess I would have been sending my friends photos of women or something that I'm seeing, you know. You know what I do now? I take photos of food and dishes and send them to friends. I'm like, man, and my buddies reply back. They're like, we are getting old, and they'll send me a great dish, and I want to send it before I take the first bite and stuff like that. And I was like, look at this trout dish or whatever, you know, at Brightson's, the pecans, wow, whatever, and send that off. And now when we're talking about like crawfish being limited, you mentioned crabs, I'm like getting bummed out. So I know I'm getting older. Like if I was younger, I'd be like, whatever, I'll go eat something else. Now I'm like, it's that season and I want that dish. And I want crawfish and
like
crabs.
My good friend Poppy Tooker says, in New Orleans, we live to eat. You know, food is such an important part of our culture and part of the real joy of living, period. And that's why seasonality, I think, is such a critical and beautiful part of food. You know, if we had crawfish all year round, we'd get bored with them. We wouldn't be talking about them. But we anticipate the season. We start salivating and thinking about etouffee and egg rolls and things like that. Same with Creole tomato season. You know, we start dreaming about Creole tomato sandwiches and things like that.
Yep.
But that's the beauty of seasonality in food, is that we have this anticipation. It's short-lived, and you want to go for the gusto. Enjoy the product while it's here and take what Mother Nature gives you.
I'm at the Rouse's the other day, and they've got the Driscoll strawberries from California, like they always have. And then they got the local Springfield one sitting right next to them. Yeah, it's an easy choice. The whipped cream was right there. The local strawberries are just starting to really, really get good. I guess we've got that season for a little while, right?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go buy some next week.
I mean, they were fantastic, Frank, for the ones from...
They're the best.
Yep, they were really good.
Like them.
You know what's amazing?
To me, Louisiana strawberries and Louisiana navel oranges, you won't find a better one.
I love the I don't know if this is like a sellout thing, but I think like Ready Whip is a pretty decent product, because it's, if you look on the label, it's milk and cream and sugar mostly, and then I think like by pushing it out of the can and it hitting the air, it whips. It's, I think for like kind of a B product, like not making it yourself, it's a fairly acceptable product. Am I?
Oh yeah, I'm good with that. You know, we ate it a lot growing up. Mom did whipped cream, I don't think. Yeah, that's fine.
But at Brightson's, it's vanilla and cream and some whipping going down, huh?
And whipped.
Wow. Wow. So how do you make the whipped cream?
Well, like everything in our restaurant, I have a recipe for it. No matter how simple it might be, I have a recipe. So my recipe for whipped cream is 1-1-1. 1 quart of cream, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla. And I insist that it's whipped by hand, not in a machine, because you incorporate more air and it gets fluffier and has more air in it and has a much silkier, lighter mouthfeel. So it takes a few minutes. It's not, maybe not everyone's favorite chore, but to me, it's worth it.
What's the best tool to whip it with?
A cold mixing bowl is good. You can take 2 bowls and put ice in one, and then put another bowl inside of that and whip it. The cream should be cold. The colder it is, the better it's going to whip. But I think one of the big differences that the home consumer may not realize is the cream itself. Cream is labeled as to the percentage of milk fat in it. So most cream is 36% milk fat, which is good. But we use 40% cream, which is a little richer, and it will whip faster, noticeably faster.
Wow.
So read the label if you're using cream for anything, and get the 40%. I mean, you're gonna splurge anyway. Get the best.
Yeah.
There is a huge difference from 36 to 40%. Believe it or not.
And then you're just using that metal whisk.
Yeah. A thin wire. It's called piano wire whisk.
Huh.
And what I do is I tilt the bowl towards me a little bit so that the whisk is there's more of the whisk in the liquid, if you follow me, and so it's going to whip faster that way. And I don't use that big circular motion where you're wearing your shoulder out. I just go side to side, just using my elbow.
Yeah, left and right.
The only thing that's moving. Go side to side. You don't have to go fast. Just keep it moving, and it'll come to you.
Wow. And what do you get out of that? Like how many portions roughly out of that, what you just said?
Well, on a regular night, we'll do 1 quart cream. If we're doing strawberry shortcake, we'll probably do 2 quarts. But that'll make probably almost 8 cups of whipped cream. I mean, that's how much it aerates.
Wow.
You probably get 6 to 7 cups of whipped cream out of 4 cups of regular cream.
Hey, Frank, you guys booked up tonight, tomorrow night? What's it looking like?
Yeah, I think the weekend's pretty strong. You can always call. People's plans change, of course. But I think tonight and tomorrow night are pretty well booked. But give us a call for next week. Come next week and get some of this seafood gumbo. It's killer. And we do it the right way.
861-7610 is the phone number at Brightson's. 861-7610. The website's brightsons.com. You can do to-go orders. You got the menu, to-go menu, and you can order. The to-go menu is just a suggestion of easy-to-do to-go items that travel well, but you'll do anything on the menu to go, right?
That's right. Anything you see on our regular menu is available to go. Give us a call, and we'll have dinner ready for you in about 20 minutes.
861-7610. 861-7610. We missing anything, Frank?
That's it, man. Good to talk to you as always. We love you, New Orleans. Enjoy your weekend.
Frank, thanks so much. See you next week.
Always a pleasure.
That's Frank Brightson from his restaurant in the Riverbend. 861-7610. You heard Frank? Book a reservation for next week, or there might be a cancellation tonight or tomorrow night. Get that table. 861-7610. So good. Brightson's in the Riverbend. So good visiting with Frank Brightson. I like doing it. I hope you do too. During the week, Monday through Thursday, somebody today on Twitter was talking about New Orleans and just, for journalists, it must be a dream town. And I reply back, I'm like, it's New York, Chicago, LA, type news at 10% of the population. And it's true. So no, for me, is always topics, always great stuff to talk about and bad stuff to talk about. Shady politics and corruption and backwards, Louisiana and New Orleans. So when Friday rolls around and I get to kind of decompress and chill out from that, I'm still going to, there'll still be some Friday story that's not a plus or a positive that needs to be addressed. A spotlight needs to be put on it, telling it like it is, that type of thing. So no, when Friday I can get like Fletcher Mackel on and talk like, LSU, and I get Frank Brightson on and talk food. It's a no-brainer. Michael Hecht, some positive economic news. No-brainer. Hey, it's a little wet out there. It's going to be a wet evening, probably a wet morning. Might be wet into the early afternoon, and then it's going to go away. And we're going to have fantastic weather tomorrow afternoon, maybe tomorrow night, definitely Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, a really nice stretch. Sunday through Wednesday should be nice, starting off every morning in the 40s. And it gradually gets a little warmer. By Tuesday, Wednesday, we could be up to like 65 again. But a lot of 40s and 50s Sunday and Monday, but outstanding sunny, clear skies. So, I don't know, maybe another 24 hours or less of this. By this time tomorrow, it should be sunny. And sunny through Wednesday. So, I'll take it. I'd like it to be sunny right now, but better to get it started tomorrow than not at all. No, I like getting a Michael Hecht on the show. I like getting Fletcher Mackel on Friday, Frank Brightson, kind of decompress a little bit. Hey, you heading home from work? You might pass 2 or 3 Rouse's Markets on the way home from work to your house. There are over 60 Rouse's in Southeast Louisiana, Cajun country, home of Thibodeau, New Orleans, Southern Mississippi, Southern Alabama. No, they're all over the place. Like 6 in Metro Mobile, plus another one in Gulf Shores, another one in Orange Beach. That's 8 Rouse's in South Alabama. Mississippi, you got Diamond Head. Gulfport's got a couple. Ocean Springs. Louisiana, how about 3 in Lake Charles? How about 3 in Lafayette? New Iberia. Metro Baton Rouge, there are 9 Rouse's Markets, capital city. They're in Lockport. They're in LaRose, Golden Meadow, Matthews. 4 in Houma, 4 in Thibodeau. Morgan City. Couple in Hammond. 3 in Covington, 2 in Mandeville, 2 in Slidell. You got 20-plus Rouse's in Metro New Orleans. 7 in New Orleans. You got a couple on the West Bank. Kenner, 7 on the North Shore, 4 in Metairie, or 5 in Metairie. 60-plus Rouse's over 60 years. Convenience. Every Rouse's, the latest every Rouse's opens, 7 a.m. Some open at 6:30. The earliest any Rouse's closes, 10 p.m. Some stay open till 11, even midnight. Best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home. Your Rouse's Markets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art & Eyes. Art & Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art & Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get a quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have focus.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. It was a dime for a person who came up to me after the game. I had tickets in the old Tulane Stadium. I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Dwayne Perez on YouTube saying go to Lee's on Vets, I guess. I've been to Lee's. Lee's is all right. I mean, it's not bad. I like the grilled onions. That is good. A burger I really like. I mean, I like portocall, that kind of thing. Louis up in Baton Rouge on the LSU campus just has a great burger. I don't know what it is. The meat, I don't know what it is. They just grill it with the grilled onions. The bun's a solid bun and it's toasted. That helps. I guess the bun's it isn't 50%, but it's a big part of the burger. I like a toasted bun. I'm the food snob. I went to the Dirty Camellia Grill. Joe, I go every quarter and just continue to get disappointed, I pull up going, you're going to be disappointed. But they work with me in there. I have to, it's better when it's not very crowded. And they know I tip right away. I give the chef $5 and the waiter $5, before we start. And then I tell them I'm high maintenance. I'm a pain in the butt. And then, I'm I want my bun toasted in the toaster. And all right. I'm I want the burger medium well, because I don't trust your meat. And, and then, hey, guys, I don't want the fries in the basket that are right there that I see. I want some fresh fries that weren't up for 10 minutes. I want hot French fries. Is that asking too much? I don't want cold fries. I'm paying for them, right? So I'm that kind of a pain in the rear end. And then I'm damn. I've gotten up and left in the middle of the meal. One time I order a waffle to start in a burger after the waffle, and I'm watching him cook the burger, and I'm just nope. Literally. And they're looking at me like, uh-oh, he's going to go. And then I just throw money down for and I've tipped them already. And I throw down money for the waffle and I just walk out. No, they're going to ban me from Camellia Grill soon, I think, yeah. But I dream of the old Camellia Grill, and I just get repeatedly disappointed. Is this like a message to the owner of Camellia Grill to get their you-know-what together already? Cheese and Pete's. It could just be a grand slam home run, but here's the deal, Joe. I'm the picky one, obviously, because I want to drive by and roll down the window and yell, it's not that good. Why are you waiting in line? There's a line outside, like tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. Go drive by Camellia Grill at 9 a.m. And even in the rain, there'll be a line coming out of the place.
I've got to assume that's out-of-towners who read a blog, because I've never had Camellia Grill where it didn't feel like I was getting a blood disease.
See, but that's because you've only had it in the last 15 years. It used to be so good. Now, have you ever gone to Camellia Grill, Joe, where it was a cloth napkin?
No.
Okay, see, that was about 15 years ago. Like they didn't pay the linen bill and they stopped using cloth Used to be a cloth napkin at Camellia Grill. Just a nice touch. Cloth napkins about 11 cents a pop for that napkin. The company picks them up, and each one for them to bring them back clean, it's like 11 cents. Paper napkins about a penny. So they save a dime. Over the year, it's $400, so that's how that works, which is depressing. Now, the place that I went and got the crappy shrimp, they had like America's best ketchup. Mr. President's ketchup, something like that, literally to the owner. When I got my to-go order and popped open the container quickly and saw the shrimp were piping hot but soggy and crappy, and I could just tell they weren't that good, the owner's wife walked by and I just went, whatever it was President's best, nature's best, whatever the hell it's called. I'm like, President's best ketchup. I'm like, at the end of the year, what would y'all save, about $300? I'm like, get some Heinz already. And she laughed with me about it. She laughed with me. But seriously, what did you save? $400 on the year. And they're going, yeah, exactly, $400 on just ketchup. Well, if you're buying America's best ketchup instead of Heinz, I'm assuming you're buying America's best onions instead of the regular onion. Instead of a potato from, I don't know, Idaho, you're buying America's best potato, which might come from Mexico or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, I mean, that yells to me you're probably cutting corners and stuff. America's best ketchup. Plus, I got other news for you. It sucks. It's nasty. It's got just a foul taste. There's, it's like, it's sort of, well, it tastes like ketchup, but then there's this nasty ending part. Yeah, that's America's best ketchup or whatever. I don't even want Del Monte or, any of that. I want Heinz. Like everybody has, come on. Anyway, so no, Joe, I'm the pain in the rear end. That place was packed. Everybody's enjoying their lousy fried shrimp where the crust is falling off. And they're America's best ketchup, eating it up. I'm like, nasty. Oh, boy. Uh-oh, Joe. I'm slipping into the oh, boy thing. You remember I said about a month ago, my buddy says it all the time, and I do not want that to be a... in my early radio days, I used to say basically a lot. For like a month, and then finally it just went away. And basically, it's a fantasy Friday. Basically, Joe's at the control. Basically, it's just like a fallback.
Well, I have installed a shock
We're gonna have to put the collar on my neck or around my ankle or something. Buddy D used to have one. His crutch was, let me put it to you this way. And that gave time for his 286 computer to get running. And he could, what was that quarterback's name in North Louisiana? Oh, it's Joe Ferguson. Let me put it to you this way. Joe Ferguson with a good QB. He needed a little time to, I get it, buddy. I'm with you. I get it. Hey, it is a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. A little wet out there. We were talking food with Frank Brights, and it spilled over. Just, I think most fried shrimp, most etouffee, most, hamburgers have been going out of seafood. Most places don't do a good job. Most places. But the places that do it great that you go to do it great. And I was just looking for a great burger, and I was mentioning like Five Guys, and Shake Shack wasn't very good. We were talking about small sliders. I was like, they're doing 15, 20,000 a day. They're killing it on Clearview and Vets. The line, I guarantee you the line right now, Joe, is 50 cars deep, and it'll be that way till 10 p.m. tonight. On a Friday night, small sliders, they're slaughtering it. I wouldn't doubt if they're doing north of $20,000 a day. Corey Johnson with you on a Friday. Hey, Leidenheimer Baking Company's been with you since 1896. Talking about food served in the finest restaurants in the city. If you're enjoying an authentic New Orleans po' boy, you know it's going to be on Leidenheimer French bread. Over 125 years, still baking that French bread right here in the city. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans, Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey
That
Johnson.
means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have read my mind.
Something like that.
The power of Colt 45. It works every time.
It literally does work every single time. Guys, if you're interested in the ladies, just drink Colt 45 brand malt liquor. They'll see it in your hand and they will flock to you. It's a magnet. It really is. It works every time. Lando Calrissian is right. That's Billy D. Williams, by the way, for you Star Wars fans. Lando Calrissian. What a great name. Joe, you should have named your boy Kyle Racian.
I tried.
Kyle Racian.
Too cool.
Kyle for short, but his real name's Kyle Racian. You know there is a Kyle in America named Kyle Racian. You know it. Gotta be. There's a child in Montana named Darth Vader, so you know there's one named... Oh, Blue Boy, what are we talking about? Star Wars? Have a great weekend, everyone.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling.